is Nick Hipa from the band WOVENWAR. You may remember him from a band called As I Lay Dying, but now he's currently with WOVENWAR. We're doing gear rundown with SoutheastPitReport.com. And how long have you been playing guitar, Nick?
How long have I been playing guitar? Dude, I think I've honestly been playing guitar for 20 years now.
Wow.
Which it's so disheartening when you're like, I've been playing for 20 years and like I'm only at this level, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's been a while. It's my favorite thing.
What was your very first guitar you ever had?
My very first guitar was just a straight up Fender Squier. It was like a white Fender Squier with like a crate combo. They used to do those back in the 90s all the time. They used to have that package. And then my mom saw how into it I was. Like I was really stoked. So she got me a like a Ibanez Gem like 555 because I loved Steve Vai and I loved Ibanez guitars. So that was my first like legit guitar. Basically, my signal goes from my wireless pack to this receiver into this fractal that I'm running using the 4-cable method into this PV6505 Plus, and I'm playing through both of these EVH cabs. This is the ultimate. Honestly, this is the ultimate like hodgepodge of gear because like the original rig that I was gonna play. It completely changed. Like my power amp blew during our practice for this, so I couldn't get a power amp in time. So I was like, well, I might as well use my old 6505. And so I was going to use it as a power amp, but I was just playing it as a head, and it sounded so good that I was like, you know what? I actually haven't been this excited about like my tone because this was my old tone. So I'm just going to use this head. Like the last time I had actually turned this head on was when we were recording Awakened at the blasting room for As I Lay Dying, and I turned it on for practice, and I've had it with me on tour. So I'm only using the Axe effects as pretty much my effects processor, and I've got the MFC to control, so like control my my effects and stuff like that. And another thing that's funny is I didn't have a wireless because all the dudes, like my wireless broke and I was just going with the cable. So Josh was like, I got this extra line 6. So this is Josh's line 6. This is all my other stuff. But then Phil was like, dude, I'm with EVH. We're going to be playing EVH on the other side of the stage. You should just play the cab so it looks like, you know, balanced. So I put my cabs away and I was like, I guess I'll just play an EVH. So this is the ultimate hodgepodge rig, but it sounds great. And like, there's nothing like unfamiliar of it. You know, it's almost like this is the old, this is the new, or this was the new, and this is the now, kind of.
Yeah. Is there any different sound with what you're doing with WOVENWAR as far as like your gear that you're using here versus your As I Lay Dying sound? As far as like your go-to to get your tones and your sound and stuff like that.
I mean, the approach is relatively the same.
Yeah.
Like there's not too much different. We might have a lot more effects going on, like just different delays, different pitch stuff, more cleans. But other than that, like it's all about dialing in that sick riffing tone. You know what I mean? Right. Getting that heavy stuff together. So,
what's your go-to guitar on your rack over here? What's your go-to? So Josh and I are sharing a rack. My main drop, we play in a couple of tunings. My main drop C guitar is this this Gibson Les Paul Shred. It's just completely stocked, like 100% stock, and it's based on just my desire to play a single cutaway guitar with a Floyd. You can use it for a lot of like just vibrato flutters, like anything you want. But I love messing around with that, you know, in my playing and stuff. So I've got this. This is my main drop C. This is an Ibanez custom that I had, and it was a lot of the customs I had with Ibanez were kind of based on like the Les Pauls with tremolos and stuff like that. So they made me this, and this is my favorite guitar they've ever made me. It's just mahogany body, maple top, maple fretboard, and their edge bridge, which I don't like as much as the Floyd. That's why I'm playing that Gibson. But overall, I love the way this guitar sounds. It's so bright, and I've got Seymour Duncan, Mick Thompson blackouts in here actually. I think like Seymour Duncan pickups across the board are awesome, and I think ultimately we're going to start phasing more towards passive because we used passive pickups, Seymour Duncan passive pickups on the record. But right now that's just what I have in that guitar from back in the day. And then I've got this is my backup drop C sharp, and this is just an Ibanez like RG. I don't even remember what the model number was, but
This also has the Seymour Duncan Mick Thompson pickups in it. And again, it's just like a shreddy guitar, you know. And it's super dirty. Haven't wiped between the strings or cleaned it. Don't really care. And then I've got this Les Paul. This is my main E flat standard guitar. And this is what this is the tuning we use for Tempest, Matter of Time, and Prophets on the WOVENWAR record. And it's just 1993 Les Paul custom.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that's it. Like pretty simple. We definitely always put ourselves in a precarious position by having multiple tunings in the record and wanting to pull it off and recreate that live. But you know, kind of having a lot of guitars is cool, right?
Makes you look cool, at least.
It's such a pain because it's like every day I have to change strings. I'm changing strings right now on this guy.
Nice. All right, one last question. If you could have a jam session with any guitarist, alive, dead, doesn't matter, who would it be? And it can only be one.
It can only be one?
Only one. Only one person.
I don't know, because a lot of the dudes that I would, when you say jam, it means playing music with, where there's some dudes that I would just like to watch play music,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Well, either one. If you could have a jam session with somebody, or if you could just sit back and just watch them play guitar and just learn from them, who would it be?
Oh, well, I feel like I've already spent most of my guitar playing life, at least the past 20 years, learning from the school of Randy Rhoads. So that would be my answer. I love Randy. I'm still learning from him. You know what I mean? Still learning his licks.
That was Mark from Periphery's first answer. And
Really?
when I told him it could only be one person, he went to Dimebag Darrell.
That would have been my Randy and Dime are my favorite guitar players. So
you can see it right here, folks. Randy Rhoads, Dimebag Darrell, two most influential guitarists for these two guys. And so this is it. This is Josh with SoutheastPitReport.com, hanging out with Nick Hipa from the band WOVENWAR, talking guitars and who we'd want to jam with.
actually, dude, I'm sorry. Can I show you my practice amp? I have a Randy Rhoads practice amp. Oh, my Randy crew.
Absolutely. Come on. Let's go this way. Let's look at the practice amp. All right. So like Nick was saying, we're back in the dressing room. He wants to show you his mighty Randy Rhoads practice amp that he has here.
This is it. Crafted from a shirt that was too small for me. So I was like, what should I do with this that, how can I repurpose this in a way that, I get a lot of use out of? So I put it on top of my microcube, and it's my primary source of shredspiration every day.
I think what you should do with that amp is that should be your primary live amp now.
Just mic it.
Just mic it.
Put a 57 right here.
The spirit of Randy Rhoads will power that and empower you to shred even more than what you do already.
It's maybe a good call.
I think so. But there we go, guys. There he is with his mighty Randy Rhoads practice amp. And this is Josh with SoutheastPitReport.com.